Cecily Clark, and this do be Cakes and Ale.
I gave her cakes and I gave her ale and I gave her sack and sherry.
Did not.
I kissed her once and I kissed her twice, and we were wondrous merry.
Better not.
I gave her beads and bracelets fine,
The
and I
beads,
gave
the
her
bracelets.
gold underneath.
The gold.
I thought she would have feared when she struck my beard.
More strike some.
We were wondrous merry. Marry me heart, marry me cock, marry me fright, marry, 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 hey down Derry. I kissed her once and I kissed her twice, and we were wondrous merry. Good day, good and gentle, Gramercy. I be Master Arnold Connor, the ale Connor for all of Oxfordshire.
Oh, well, welcome, Master Connor. This is truly fortuitous, for I was looking for you.
Well, you were.
I, your goodly sister Eleanor, with whom I
Ellie.
reside in Ickford, did send me here to ensure that you were being well fed.
I do like to be well fed.
I can see that. She also did send me here to ensure that I find you a goodly wife to
I
keep
do like
you
to be well fed.
Beginning to see why he is still single. Well, welcomes, goodly gentles. Cakes and Ale is a 9-week show in which each week we do a different set of recipes for your enjoyment that you can even take home with you and try at home. But before that, we do like to tell you what it is that we eat and what we drink and why we eat it and why we drink it.
And when we eat it.
And when we eat it and when we drink it. Spoiler alert, it's delicious, but that's not the only reason. So, by a show of hands, how many of you have been to a Cakes and Ale show before? Raise your hands. Repeat offender. Visitors, repeat visitors. So those of you who are here for the first time, raise your hands. Look, untapped potential, I love it. Excellent, well, so it is important to understand that we are controlled by two very important things when it comes to what we eat and what we drink. The very first of those, of course, is money.
Eustachian.
How much money you have very much controls what you eat and what you drink. For example, if you are poor, you will probably have 2, maybe 3 meals a day. And those meals are going to be pretty similar every single day. So, what you are going to have in the morning when you break your fast, hence where we get the word breakfast, excellent, well, is you will have pottage. Pottage is generally what's ever left over in the pot from the night before.
Oh, but do not turn your nose up at that, because sometimes that which is from the day before is even better, like meatloaf.
Like what?
Meatloaf.
What is a meatloaf?
Exactly what it sounds like. It is a loaf of meat.
All right, ladies, here is another selling point. He must be very wealthy, because if you're poor, you can barely afford a loaf of bread, and he can afford a whole loaf of meat. Work with me. I'm trying to help your sister. You can see what I've got to work with. So, but for peasants, there's not a lot of meat in what you eat. What is in the pottage is probably a grain, barley usually, or an oat, and then vegetables. And then that is mixed up. You're not going to have a lot of meat in it because meat is expensive. You're not going to put chicken in it because if you put chicken in the pot, you can only eat the chicken. But if you keep the chicken alive, you can eat eggs over and over and over again. So if you're fortunate and you go, say, to work for one of our goodly merchants, or if you go to work in the fields, you may have a second meal, which is called dinner. And if you are poor, that is probably something called a pasty.
Ooh, a pasty, yes.
Nay, a pasty.
A pasty.
A pasty and a pasty are two completely different things.
Well, what is the difference?
A pasty is a delicious food. You make it out of a circlet of dough, and then you put in a filling. If you're wealthy, you might put in rich meats or foreign cheeses. If you're poor, you're probably putting in vegetables. And then you crimp it over, and you turn it over to a half moon, crimp it, and then you can boil it, you can bake it, you can fry it. It is very versatile.
I thought that was a pasty.
Well, pasties are versatile.
Sweets of a child.
But you're much more likely to see pasties at the 8:30 show at the Dragon Inn.